Hey everybody, my name's Whitney. I am Travis's wife. I don't get on camera too often. I'm not the in front of the camera person. I'm behind the camera person, but he talked me into doing this for you guys. We're going to share some things that we do in our house to kind of make daily life a little more efficient and flow a little easier. We like to do freezer meals. We pretty much, during the school year, since we both work in a school, we're really busy, and Travis has coached for 14 years up until now, so definitely the fall is very busy, and the afternoons when we get home are just really hectic. So it's hard to eat healthy and save money when you're running on a hectic schedule with kids and you have homework and chores to do when you get home. This freezer meal plan technique is something that has really saved us a lot of money in our grocery budget and helped us continue to eat healthy even on a hectic schedule when everybody has lots of stuff to do in the afternoon. How do you get started with a big freezer meal plan? You can go as big or small as you want to go. You could just decide that, hey, I'm going to make a big pot of chili for dinner tonight and I'm going to get enough stuff to do an extra recipe of that and put that in the freezer. You can totally do it that way, and it's really simple. I go big. I do a freezer meal cooking haul about 4 times a year. And I put up 45 to 50 meals, and we eat on those for 3 to 4 months at a time. I type up all of the recipes that I'm going to use, and I gather my recipes. I'll look at Pinterest. There's plenty of freezer recipes on Pinterest, but I really, really like to use cookbooks like these. These two are probably my favorite freezer cookbooks. We can link these. This one's called From Freezer to Cooker. It's awesome if you are going to be running low on time, because it teaches you exactly how to make the meal for the freezer and then dump it in whatever kind of cooker you have. This one is by the same two ladies. It's called From Freezer to Table. Both of these are whole food recipes. Okay, we like to eat healthy around here, so these are whole food recipe books. This one is not a freezer meal cookbook, but a lot of the recipes in it are really easily adaptable for freezer meals. This one's called 100 Days of Real Food, Fast and Fabulous. And in this one, I learned a lot of great tips from this book, which we'll share in a little while. This one's called Fix, Freeze, Feast, and it is especially good if you're buying in bulk. This one's also good. I just picked this one up at Ollie's, and it was like $3. It's Better Homes and Gardens, Fast or Slow. I type up the recipes and decide how many of each one that I'm going to make, multiply it out for each ingredient, figure out how much of each ingredient that I need, and then I make a grocery list of all of the ingredients that I need for every recipe, down to what kind of container they're going to go in the freezer. So if it's aluminum pans, I put, hey, I'm going to need 4 aluminum pans for this. Or if it is gallon-sized freezer bags, I put, hey, I'm going to need 8 gallon-sized freezer bags for this on each one. So I know exactly what I need to buy, make a master grocery list of all of those ingredients. And then what I like to do is put an order in for those groceries. So I'll use the Instacart app to do an order for Aldi. I'll do a Walmart pickup, and usually buy the meat at Costco. So I'll run in Costco, pick up the meat, and get the rest of the ingredients that I need from Aldi and Walmart via pickup. So now I'm going to give you some tips to make your freezer cooking venture a little more efficient. I've learned some little tips and tricks along the way that have really made things move more quickly and make fewer messes as you're actually putting everything together. Pull your trash can out and bring it over to the counter right next to where you're going to be cooking, and just make sure you have a clean trash bag in it. It's all the way empty, and that way, you don't have to stop in the middle to take out the trash. I would say have your dishwasher empty and your sink empty. I know if you're like us at this house, we typically have a dishwasher full of clean dishes and a sink full of dirty ones. Go ahead, put your clean dishes up and wash those dirty ones and get everything empty. And that makes the process a lot easier and the cleanup a lot quicker afterward when you're tired and you've been putting together meals for a long time. Make sure you have a full roll of paper towels handy. You're going to want that nearby as you're cooking. And then there are some gadgets and ingredients that make life a lot easier when you're putting freezer meals together. This handy dandy thing is an onion chopper. I like a lot of garlic and onion in just about everything. And a lot of your freezer meals are going to call for garlic and onion. And so this little baby helps a ton. Now, I love a fresh pressed clove of garlic, but that just takes a lot of time when you're putting together a lot of meals. Go for a jar of minced garlic. When you're putting together a lot of meals, this will save you a lot of headache, a lot of mess, and a lot of time. An electric can opener, I know what I'm holding up is not an electric can opener because mine's actually currently broken. But if you're going to do a lot of meals with cans, then get yourself an electric can opener. You can move through it a lot quicker if you're actually letting the electric can opener do some work for you while you use your manual one and you're opening cans with your manual one, and the electric one is also opening cans for you. As I'm putting the ingredients in the bags, I put these gallon size freezer bags in mixing bowls or whatever tall, large bowl that I have. So here you can see I'm about to do a recipe, and I've got like 4 different tall, large bowls. And the only reason that is because as you're putting ingredients in, your bags are going to start to lean and tip over, and your ingredients will run out on your counter. I've had this happen. It's no fun. You can actually buy bag clips on Amazon that stand your bags up for you. I double bag everything. So the actual bag that I put the ingredients in, that's not the bag that I write on the label of, because this is going to be the inside bag. I'm going to put this bag down in another bag, and I'll show you one that I've already written on the label. Here you go. I've already written on the label. Make sure you label everything before you put it in the freezer. There's so many things that look the same once it goes in the freezer, and you think you're never going to forget what was in that bag, but 3 months later it looks the same as everything else in the freezer. So write on it what the actual recipe is, and then I like to write the cooking instructions, or if I need to add something before I cook it, like for instance when I do a soup meal in the freezer, I don't add the broth in the bag, but I will write on the label to add broth, just so I don't forget to. Make sure you put the date on there so you don't, eat a freezer meal 2 years later. I don't know. I guess it might be okay, but I'm not sure. I don't think I would want to do that. So write the date, any cooking instructions or additional things that you need to add before you cook, and what the actual meal is, and use this as the outer double bag. If you have cooked something on the stove before you put it in the freezer, you're going to want to let that cool all the way down before you put it in your bags. So let that cool all the way down before you put it in your bags and take it out to the freezer. It's going to eliminate freezer burn on your meals. And then if you're cooking something to go in the freezer, that's like meatballs or hamburger patties or something like that, you can't stick those in your bags immediately or they'll all freeze in one solid brick. So what I like to do is put everything on a cookie sheet, like a meatball. If I'm doing a meatball recipe, I have one out in my freezer right now that I did last night. I put the meatballs and shape them out on the cookie sheet, and make sure you measure your freezer for what size cookie sheet you need to do, because I have put mine on a cookie sheet that was too large for the freezer before, and then had to take them off and put them on a different cookie sheet, and that's pain. So measure your freezer for the cookie sheet that you need to use. Put your hamburger patties or your meatballs or whatever item that it may be out on this, and then lay it on top of the items in your chest freezer or whatever kind of freezer that you're using. Make sure that it is even and they're not all sliding in one direction, and let those freeze overnight, and then you can take them out the next day and put them in a freezer bag and label that actual bag. So those are just some tips and tricks that I have learned along the way in the couple years that we've been doing this, that make everything go more smoothly and just make it a little bit more efficient and less messy.